It has come to my attention that money cannot buy taste, and the more money you have, the tackier the items that they seem to purchase. I don't know who made this rule. I don't know why it has come to my attention and most people's attention, honestly. I think it's a pretty standard practice that if you have all the money in the world, you don't have taste. I feel like everyone needs to start up from the bottom to at least evaluate yourself and understand what taste is, because you work within your budget and then you work your way up. But it always seems that a lot of these design elements fall under the impractical design choices and what to avoid. So that's what we're gonna go through today. The next round of impractical design choices that look great in photos, not so great in practicality. Now, I know everyone got obsessed with Kylie Jenner's kitchen, with how beautiful the color was, and for some reason, those hanging pot racks. Oh, I've said this before and I will say it again. Unless you are cleaning the bottom of those pot racks every single time, it looks dirty. There's all this additional clutter in your kitchen space. A kitchen is already super busy. There's handles, there's levers, there's just so many elements that add a lot of visual clutter to your space. Now insert a hanging rack with 50 pots and pans on it. It doesn't look cute. It doesn't look curated. It doesn't make me see like, oh yeah, you're a cook, you're a chef, you like to have these things. It is just overwhelming. Now, if you have these, I know the reason you have them is because you're saving space in the rest of the kitchen. But every time I see a hanging pot rack, it's in a massive kitchen. Dude, you have so much room. You have cabinets, you have drawers. You do not need to have them all on display. It's really adding nothing to your space. I will give you one piece of advice though. If you don't have room, because I get it, a lot of us are living in smaller spaces these days, buy a pot set that are handleless. And when I say handleless, they come with a removable clamp. These are fantastic. You know why? Because they all stack together like a beautiful Russian nesting doll. They take up such little space in your kitchen. This is such a great space-saving solution if you live in a big space, if you live in a small space, and you don't want to have all these massive pots and pans. They all fit together. Honestly, I could not recommend them more. It has come to my attention also that we need a reminder on exposed light bulbs. Oh Lord, I'm glad at least a lot of people are moving away from the big light. For the longest time, everyone's, oh no, we don't turn on the big light. We want the table lights, we want the floor lamp. And that's the vibe. You want something cozy, you want something dim, you want something intimate. I don't want my corneas to be burned when I'm looking at a light bulb. I want a nice, soft focus. So there's two things you need to do. One, if you're buying a light bulb and you have one of those Edison filaments that you're visually seeing, this is a big no. It creates so much glare that it's actually more off-putting than it is cozy. It's not creating the vibe that you want. Yes, the color temperature of those bulbs are fantastic, but at the end of the day, if I'm sitting here and I'm watching TV and I have a lamp over the side and I have an Edison bulb, my eye is automatically irritated by the visible filament. This is a super easy fix, people. You have two options. One, replace the bulb, get something that is either frosted or you don't allow yourself to see the elements, or two, have some kind of diffusion on it, whether it be a smoked globe or a frosted globe or some kind of diffuser. Even a lampshade will help you with this, people. It diffuses the light and makes it softer on your eyes. That is the purpose of all these table lights and floor lamps, is to be softer. If you're having those elements with those Edison bulbs, it is creating more of a headache than you can imagine. As DIYers become more, I guess, relevant on social media these days, there has been an increase in concrete countertops and concrete tiles. Now, while these can be extremely beautiful and really match a really unique interior design style, these come with a lot of maintenance behind them. Concrete is more porous than marble, and you need to be constantly sealing it. I have seen far too many people that have done a DIY concrete tile, which looks beautiful, and they put it on their backsplash. Once again, looks beautiful until they start cooking and cleaning. If you are not constantly sealing concrete in this format, it is going to absorb everything. And when I say absorb everything, if you have a little bit of splatter, a little bit of oil or pasta that bubbles out of your pot and it lands on that backsplash or the countertop, you're gonna have an etch and a stain mark immediately because it soaks it in. It is like so porous. Also, it's extremely heavy. If you are doing concrete tiles or a concrete countertop, it requires a lot of additional backing, almost more so than marble and quartzite, which I know are already on a different scale. But to completely form those out, you need to pour the wet ingredients in those areas to make it complete. Once it's wet, it's a lot heavier. So keep that in mind as well. If you are going to use a concrete tile or concrete countertop, because that's what you have, make sure you are cleaning it properly with a concrete cleaner and a concrete sealer. None of this all natural stuff or these high intense cleaning products that you can get anywhere. And even vinegar itself, because I've seen a lot of people make the mistake of cleaning a countertop with vinegar. Unless you have quartz, it will destroy everything and anything, your concrete included. So please keep that in mind. I'm gonna kick myself for this one because low profile sofas, I love. I think they are so great if you are under the age of 25. I made the mistake of getting a Togo chair. I love it. I think it's basically the adult beanbag chair. Super comfy, super low. You sink into it. My problem is I'm 6'4". My knees are up to here when I sit into it, so it's not as cozy as I initially thought it would be. Keep that in mind. If you have low profile furniture and you have your parents coming over to visit, if they have to roll out of a chair or a sofa, it's not practical whatsoever. And they're gonna be like, oh my God, my knees, my back, and my crack. It's gonna be a whole thing, people. Average seating height that is comfortable as a standard is between 18 and 20 inches. That's what I want your standard to be for anything to still be comfortable and still have the allowance of being able to get out. If I have to use like the side profile of a chair, the ground, or an armrest to get up, oh, trust me, I know I'm getting old. I know I don't look old. The Botox, people, I will stay young forever. But keep that in mind. Beauty fades, your bones, you can't fix your bones. Your joints, there's nothing to fix that. They're gonna show your age a lot faster than your face will. I will give you a little piece of advice though. If you do have a low profile sofa, whether it be the toga chair or something else, or even a beanbag chair for that instance, build a platform underneath. That's the 3 or 4 inches. I know it's not gonna look the greatest, but it's gonna work in the meantime. And what you can do is you can get double-sided Velcro, have it on the bottom of the base, bottom of the sofa or chair, stays in place. And now look, you can get up and in your sofa with ease without having to worry about your joints. Now I get it. Natural woven fibered rugs can be extremely expensive. You can look at the ones at Restoration Hardware if you want to spend 10,000 plus on a rug, which in my opinion is absolutely bonkers. No one should be spending upwards of 10K on a rug that you're stepping on every single day. Like, it gets dirty. It is what it is. Some people will do it. Not something I would recommend. But a lot of people have been trying to introduce this viscose material. Now, viscose is great, engineered, super clean. It will literally repel dirt and grime. But you know what it absorbs? Oil. You know what holds on to smell? Oil. You know what's the hardest to clean? Oil. Oh my goodness. There have been far too many people that are getting these beautiful rugs at a fraction of the price, mind you. And they do look great. You'll have them for probably up to a year and they will always look perfect. But the oil from your feet, the oil from like your animals gets absorbed into this viscose and this synthetic material that makes it really challenging to clean. Like, you can't do this yourself. Vacuuming will do you no help. You need to send this out to be actually professionally washed. So keep that in mind. Another key point is when you're looking for a rug, especially these visco ones, these have been printed. If you have a pattern, it's printed on the surface. Wayfair, I'm calling you out for this one. I will probably never work with you in my entire life because I've bashed you multiple times. You do have a few good things. All Modern is great on your website, but your cheap rugs, they're not doing you any justice. I would rather you not have a rug and save up for one that's the right size, and 2, one that actually fits the design of your space. These cheap synthetic ones are really doing nothing for you. Save for a good one. And now I know a lot of people will say whether you're saving or splurging, and rugs is something you save on. Like I said, I'd rather you not have one and get one when it's actually meaningful and purposeful because it feels cohesive with your design and it's actually a good quality. The only time I ever see these look good is when you have a massive bedroom, and not everyone has a massive bedroom. I live in a 750 square foot condo, and as much as I dream of having a king size bed, it's not gonna happen. I have a queen, and that means that I am very limited on space. So that's why platform and surround size beds are something on my chopping block. You need so much additional space for this because these pictures are going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. These platform beds, they come out, first of all, the headboard is like 12 inches from the wall, which is massive. And then the platforms around them are anywhere between 10 and 16 inches around. Now, I get it. If you have a child and they're running around and you want to have that kind of like safety feature, that's going to be perfect for you. But it's very rare that you actually have the space for this. Don't even ask me how many times I have seen friends or people online that have purchased one of these for their home. They put it in there like, oh shit, this is big. No shit, it's big, people. This is massive. Always measure. Oh my God, measure twice, cut once. Same thing when you're buying furniture online. You see this beautiful enlarged photo of a bowl or a shrunk photo of a bed frame, and you're like, oh my God, that's gonna work in my space. It arrives. First of all, is it gonna fit in your elevator? Is it gonna fit for your door? That is something that you need to keep in mind when you're designing a space and you live in a small one. You need to know every specific measurement right down to the bed frame or even your sofa. I've seen people order a full 3-person sofa and it doesn't even fit in their elevator to go up to their condo. Always check, people. It is a dream to have a platform bed of this size and this caliber, but it is so impractical. It takes up so much space. And I would say 90% of the time, you don't want your focus to be the first thing in your bedroom to be the bed. If your bed is the first thing I see and I visually get attracted to when I go into the bedroom, it tells me you didn't know what you're doing. I want to see art. I want to see light fixtures. That's where I want my eye to be drawn to first, and then I want to finish on the bed.
What do you mean by that?
That's how you know you have a well-designed bedroom if your eyes are detracted elsewhere. I am very much on board with this trend for integrated lighting. LEDs throughout everywhere make a space look so good. You can have underlighting underneath your toe kick, underneath your island, in your closet, in your foyer. All of the areas that are typically harder to light up, integrated LED is where you have the perfect opportunity to light up those areas and create more of an atmospheric vibe. The problem with this is you usually need to do either reconstruction, a renovation, or something that involves the integration of these lights. I've seen far too many people buying these low quality LED strips and just installing them where they want. And when I talk about low quality LED strips, I'm talking about those super thin wires that people are putting around the perimeters of their walls, underneath the toe kick, and you see the individual hotspots. And when I talk about the hotspots, that's where the light is brightest. So when you're looking at it, when it's reflected on the wall, ceiling, or the floor, you see dots. This tells me how terrible it looks. The purpose of these integrated LEDs, or even these panels that are motion sensors, if you want to put that up in your bedroom or your bathroom, is to have a soft focus light. If you see these hot spots, it's taking away from the atmosphere you're trying to create with this ambient light. You want a soft glow, not something harsh that your eye is immediately attracted to. If you do have one of these, God forbid, I'm praying for you, or you want to bring or integrate LEDs into your space, get a diffuser. Get a diffuser for on top of it. This is 2 pieces of the pie that you need to put together. You'll have the LED channel and the diffuser that goes on top. Even if you have a really cheap LED, this will help diffuse it so it's not those hot spots that are reflected everywhere. One other thing to also keep in mind with these low quality LEDs is that they are a very strong adhesive backing. Keep that in mind for what you are actually attaching them to, because they're going to peel off the paint and the drywall if they're on the wall. And tragically, I've seen them take off the veneer on a cabinet face. So just be mindful of that. Put down contact paper first and then stick it to it. That's going to save you so much money in the long run, especially if you are renting and add this in. The last thing you want to do is to lose your security deposit. If you know me, you know I absolutely hate vessel sinks. There has never been anything good about them. Yes, I will give them a point that you can have, a colorful concrete one or a sculptural one that honestly look a little bit more corporate. Like I could see those being cool in like a restaurant space, but in your residential section, it doesn't feel quite right because there's 2 major problems with vessel sinks. One, the vanity now needs to be installed lower than standard to accommodate your vessel sink that's usually anywhere between 10 to 12 inches. So if you ever replace that vessel sink, your vanity is now way too low, which now means you need a whole new vanity. You can't just replace the sink like you can with the standard sizing. That's gonna be my first take. My second take is that it's really challenging to clean all the grime and mess around the edges of where this vessel sink is actually connected to the top of the vanity. And most of the time, these vessel sinks take up an inordinate amount of space, which really detracts from the amount of room and counter space that you need on a vanity. Whether it be in a powder room or your primary bath, trust me, the smaller the sink, the better. The more counter space is always going to be worth it. If you're stuck with a vessel sink, because I get it, renovations are expensive, at least use a clear coat caulking around the side. Yes, I know I said caulking. You could laugh about it all you want. Use a clear coat all the way around. This is going to allow the transition between the vessel sink and the top of that vanity look a bit clearer. The downside of this is that it is going to yellow over time. And like any caulking, whether it be in your shower or outside your shower, you need to replace it every few years. So keep that in mind as well. And that's all. Your design daddy has spoken. Another list of impractical interior design choices that, once again, look great in photographs, but from the practical side of the lens are not great, especially if you're the one cooking and cleaning in a space. Oh my God. Not all of us can afford a maid to clean for us, okay? I wish that were the case, but I'm also way too OCD about cleaning. I'd be going behind them being like, no, you did that wrong. But that's besides the point. You deserve a home that works with you, not against you. So always keep in mind about the feeling of your space and how you can actually live with those items and the longevity of them, because we don't have the budgets to be renovating every 5 and 10 years, people. Although I wish we could, my business would be booming, but once again, that's not the case. Thank you so much for watching. That's all for today. You can always follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Mr. Phoenix Gray for all my daily tips and tricks. And if you're ever second guessing yourself, just ask, what would Design Daddy do?